In today's episode, we have Mark and Michaela Logue. They are relationship experts. Whether you're in a relationship or looking to be in a relationship, you do not want to miss the insights that this couple has. This episode contains adult language and adult themes. Please be careful when listening to this show if children are present.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategies, and the psychology that peak performers use in order to get more done and execute better than 99.99% of the population. This is the third and final part of the interview with Mark and Michaela Logue. If you haven't already listened to part 1 and part 2, please start there. Whether you're in a relationship, not in a relationship, want to be in a relationship, or don't have any interest in a relationship right now, the tools, the strategies, the techniques that they share are absolutely extraordinary. And on top of all that, they have an amazing offer for you at the end of the show. So share with the audience 5 tips that successful couples use.
Great question. Yeah, that's a great question.
This is great.
So tip number 1 that comes up for me is be true to yourself. Well, that sounds airy-fairy and that sounds out there. So being true to yourself means take a look in the mirror and get to like the person in the mirror. Stop the blame game and start the game of, well, who do I need to be happy with me? Because when I'm happy with me, we're happy together. So start with yourself, start with your own house, start in your own garden before you look at any other garden out there. Because you've heard the expression, the grass is always greener on the other side. So start with your own grass, make sure your grass is green first. That'll be tip number 1 for me.
All right, great. Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 for all of our people who are in long-term relationships and are newly singles, breathe. And that little tip will save you a lot of heartache. Whether you are in a long-term relationship and the relationship is going through a crunchy period, which is what I like to call it, or whether you are newly single and frustrated by the dating life out there, take a moment, get present, and breathe. Because when we breathe and we get present, all of a sudden, the problem or issue or frustration that's in front of us has a tendency of just kind of settling down and saying, oh, okay, I'm getting present to my frustration or to my anger or to my disappointment. Maybe it's really not all about them. Maybe it's really about me. So that's step number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3.
Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is applicable in business, in intimate relationships, and every other part of your life. Tip number 3, it's simple. We all know it. Very few do it. Tip number 3 is get a good night's sleep. Sounds simple. Protect your sleep. If you need 5 hours, if you need 6 hours, if you need 7 hours, if you need 10 hours, get the right amount of sleep for you. Why is that important? Because when you sleep, you're in a great state of mind. Your body's rested. They do study after study after study, and they still haven't found quite what the power of sleep is, where it comes from. All they know is the results are that when you sleep and your body has what it needs from a sleep standpoint, you think better, you eat better, your nutrition is better, your state of mind is better, everything is better. There are too many personal development gurus and kings and speakers out there that say you don't need sleep, you can sleep when you die. I firmly disagree with that. The studies have shown that a good night's sleep is incredibly powerful for business people and especially in a relationship. You look at any couple today, Thor, who has a baby, a new baby, they're sleep deprived. The relationship is at a struggle point. They're in serious conflict because neither of them are sleeping. They're getting 2-3 hours sleep a night. Their sex suffers, their communication suffers, their intimacy suffers, and it's only when they get to 18 months when they start getting a good night's sleep again that they both become whole again. So tip number 3, get yourself a good night's sleep and protect your sleep.
All right, number 4.
Number 4.
Okay. Tip number 4, and this is a really powerful one, and this one works for us because remember we share what we do and we do what we share, right? So when you're in a conflict in a relationship or when you're in a conflict in any area of your life, take a moment and ask yourself this powerful question. What core belief is driving my behavior right now? So really quick synopsis of what does that mean? What belief? Beliefs drive everything that we say and we do. For example, oh, you know what? There are no good men out there. So I may never find a good man. That's a belief. Is that true? Is that the actual truth? Or is that just a belief that's driving you?
I love that. What a great question.
Yes, and this question will stop you in your tracks. Thor, the next time it comes up for you, try it. It is literally an instantaneous, oh man, boom, and it blows your mind. It stops you in your tracks because when you get present and you ask yourself, what is the belief that's driving this behavior right now?
Yeah, and is it serving me?
And is it serving me? Thank you, Thor. That's exactly it. That's the next step to that question. You know, men have a lot of belief out there that, oh, all women are looking for a free ride. That's a belief. That's not the truth.
That is great advice.
So stop and ask yourself the question of what is the core belief that's driving this behavior or communication? And I'm going to pass this over to Mark for number 5.
We're Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, she's the beauty, I'm the beast. And I like it. I wouldn't change it. Tip number 5. Again, I keep it simple, Thor. I have an athletic background. I played soccer all my life. And the first thing they teach you in soccer is how to do a basic pass. And when you watch soccer at the top level, the top players do the basic pass, however, they're doing it at full speed. Same thing applies here. Again, whether it's business or whether it's your intimate relationship. People come to our intimacy retreats. They have fun. They laugh. They cry. There's confrontation. There's growth. There's sex. There's intimacy. There's all the sorts of, they run the gamut of the emotions. And they say, give me the tips, give me the tools, give me the strategies, give me the books, give me the book to read, give me the website to go to, give me more information. We start every retreat, every talk, every speech with, today's not about what you know, today's about what you're going to do with what you know.
Amen.
So do what you know. And I'll follow that up with 5A. So I'll give you a bonus. 5A is less is more.
Yes.
You don't need to know 100 things. You don't need 54 books on how to run a business or how to communicate. You don't need those things. You need 2 or 3 things that you incorporate into your relationship on a daily basis. So number 1, okay, have a good night's sleep. Number 2, be grateful for the person you're with. And number 3, let the person know, I love you more than anything else. I will always be here for you. We all know these things, but who actually practices these things? Yeah. So tip number 5, do what you know.
I love it. That's the whole reason I started this podcast. Yeah. It's all about execution. Mm-hmm. People run around trying to figure out more information, and they're not executing on what they already know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I know we're getting short on time here, but before we go, I want you to share with the audience how they can get a hold of you, how they get involved with these seminars that you're putting on. Please tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. We are excited to be launching I'm going to call it the tropical version of our Intimacy Passion Retreats. And what does that mean? So we're taking our Intimacy Passion Retreats to a tropical location.
Nice.
And so if you log on to Intimacy Passion Retreats, and that's plural, intimacypassionretreats.com, we have an Intimacy Passion Retreat launching in November in beautiful sunny Delray Beach, Florida. And during the most beautiful time of the year in Delray Beach, Florida, palm trees, beautiful turquoise, warm ocean, sand, tropical drinks, great restaurants, live bands, you name it. And we have the beautiful Delray Beach Marriott is hosting our 2016 IPCC retreat this year, and we are excited. So what does that mean? Intimacy, passion, communication, and connection. What does that equal? It equals juicy love. And if you're interested in doing our 2.5-day intimacy retreat with us in beautiful, sunny Delray Beach, Florida, log on to intimacypassionretreats.com to find out more about us and to find out more information and to sign up for our retreat, which is exciting. And as a little bonus, we are offering all of Thor's awesome peak performance listeners a discount. So we have the Thor discount rolling out today. And so for all of the listeners of the Peak Performance podcast show, we if you put the discount code THOR into the discount code, you will get 15% off of the intimacy retreat weekend for the first 3 couples. So
that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, so go in there and definitely take advantage of that. Not only is this weekend awesome, but you get a little mini vacation out of it as well. So why not learn some intimacy and passion technology, as well as have tons of sex, as well as have tons of fun?
Nice. Now, I don't want to take one of the spots from one of my listeners. So if I want to go, do we get 4 spots?
You do get 4 spots.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we are really excited about that. More information will be sent out to all of our registrants for the event. So we're looking forward to that. And if you just want to tweet us, you can tweet us at Mark and Michaela Online on Twitter. And if you want to look us up on Facebook, you can look us up at Mark and Michaela Online on Facebook. And if you want to check out our Instagram, it's Intimacy Passion Retreats on Instagram.
Nice. And if they can't make the retreat, they can also contact you about coaching?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you go to intimacypassionretreats.com and scroll down to the bottom, send us an email if you'd like to find out more about our intimacy training. And that's what we call it. It's intimacy training, because really coaching, when it comes to relationships and love and passion and juiciness, coaching doesn't necessarily always fit into that. However, if we go in with the mindset of how to build a deeper intimacy and passion.
Yes,
actively, then it's like, it's not coaching. It's really just an opportunity for exploration and growth.
Nice. I like that.
Yes. So you can find out more about us there.
Awesome. I know we're just about out of time. So is there any parting words of advice you'd like to leave the listeners?
Ooh, I think I'm going to let Mark take this.
No, you take this one. You're on the road. Not at all. No, I'm letting the Puerto Rican princess take this one.
See, we're arguing. No, you're awesome.
No, you're brilliant.
No, you're awesome.
You're brilliant.
No, you're amazing.
You're brilliant.
No, you're amazing. Okay. Last parting words. I will say this. If you feel deep down inside that your relationship is worth building up and strengthening, if it's worth it to you, if the person that you're looking across at the table at is worth your time and is worth building up and making them feel amazing, take the time to look for resources to do that. Whether it's listening to the Peak Performance podcast, or whether it's going to intimacypassionretreats.com, or whether it's finding a couple like Mark and Michaela to do intimacy training with, look for resources so that you can put what you know into action in your relationship. Take the time. Sometimes we take more time doing things that don't serve us versus taking the time to do something that really just builds us up as a couple, or builds us up in a relationship, or just builds us up as individuals.
That is awesome. You guys have been absolutely spectacular today. And I know our listeners are going to want you back on the show in a future date. So thank you so much for the time. You guys rock. And I'm sure plenty of our listeners are going to take advantage of the resources that you have.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Well, we are excited to be on with you. Thank you so much for inviting us to come on your amazing Peak Performance show.
He says awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, you say amazing. Okay.
Well, yeah. It's been awesome and amazing being on the air with you. Thank you so much, Thor.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you. Question of the day. In your relationship, what steps do you need to take now in order to take that relationship to the next level. Call to action. Schedule time in your calendar and make it happen. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today and listening. Your time is extremely valuable to you, and I am honored that you've taken time to listen to this podcast. If you've not already done so, please head over to iTunes, subscribe to the show. After listening to the show, please leave us a rating and a review, as these rating and reviews help us to reach more people. If you have friends, family, coworkers, or anyone that could benefit from this information, please forward this episode to them. If you have any questions, please send them to info@thorconklin.com, and we will respond to each and every email that is sent in. Head on over to the website, thorconklin.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter for additional tips, tricks, tools, psychology on how to be a peak performer. Until next time, have an absolutely amazing day.